On Sunday, Bitcoin closed the highest weekly candle of all time, setting a new record and touching new all-time high. The trend is still our friend for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now sitting at base 4, ready to go vertical into the end of the year. And Ethereum is sitting just about 10% away from a new all-time high. And the total 3, the altcoin index, appears to be ready for new all-time highs. We actually touched the highest levels of all time just this week. The low cap altcoin index, others, is still struggling to exit its range. And I've noticed a very distinct similarity between high cap stocks and high cap cryptos and low cap stocks and low cap cryptos. And we're going to discuss all of this and more in today's video. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today is October 8th, middle of the week, Wednesday. We have a lot to discuss: Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. Going to do a general analysis to get a better idea of the picture here and why things are behaving the way they are and what we could be expecting going to the end of this year. So starting off with Bitcoin, as always, the leader of this market, the king of crypto. Very important to understand what's happening with Bitcoin. In the last video, we discussed a breakout to new highs. This is the previous video on this channel. You can see we were talking about Bitcoin running up from where we were, which is 117, to potentially as high as 135,000 as the next major target. And since this video, which was posted 6 days ago, you can see Bitcoin has in fact begun that move. We have started to move towards that price level. Well, we've actually just touched a new all-time high. Nothing crazy just yet, but really, really good progress. Bitcoin touching just above 126,000 now. And like we discussed, the height of this pattern here, if you take that extrapolation, put it on the breakout zone, takes you up towards about 135, 136,000 as the next target. So we are really just starting this breakout, and there's a lot more upside to come. Bitcoin, of course, following the parabolic trend. This is the vertical stage, and we're looking for prices that are probably going to be in the 140, 150,000 range. The S&P 500 is floating straight up into new all-time high week after week, day after day. Top stocks like Meta sitting near all-time highs, Microsoft right near all-time highs, Tesla near all-time highs, Oracle flying into new all-time highs, Amazon stock near the all-time high, Nvidia sitting at a new all-time high, commodities, REMX, rare earth, getting huge rallies right now, quantum computing stocks like QBTS, RGTI, IONQ, lots of crazy action in the stock market. And for Bitcoin, it's feeding off of that. Bitcoin is often treated kind of like a tech stock, even though it's classified as a commodity, but it is following the general stock market sentiment. It's very clear. It may not feel like it to a lot of the retail people that are watching because the altcoins aren't doing much, but Bitcoin is following the stock market trend here. The market direction is the same as the S&P. And what we've seen with Ethereum is that Ethereum is kind of behind the curve. It's sitting somewhere in between the classification of high cap and low cap, even though in crypto we consider it a very high cap. But in the stock market, it's seen as something other than Bitcoin, which is an alternative. Wall Street just stepped onto the scene, and it's very clear, to me at least, when I look at the Russell and this huge drop it had during tariffs, and Ethereum, this huge drop that it had, in Bitcoin not seeing that drop. Well, it's pretty clear Wall Street is treating and regarding Ethereum like a low cap stock, at least for now. The chart matches the Russell. Bitcoin is following the S&P and Ethereum is following the Russell. That's just what it is. That's very clear observation. I mean, to me, it just looks so obvious the way it's being traded and treated and regarded. So I hope that all makes sense. That's the parallel that you can draw. Now that brings me to Bitcoin dominance. As I said, one of our Discord members brought up the observation of Bitcoin dominance on the monthly, seeing the first cross down since January 2021 or August 2020. So it's the first time in a long time that we've seen a MACD cross down. And I didn't even notice this until one of our members mentioned it. So we have Bitcoin dominance breaking the uptrend line and the MACD crossed down. So this is pointing to the idea that we probably get continuation for dominance to the downside. Despite a short-term maybe move up, since Bitcoin is breaking into new all-time highs, you could see dominance test right up to that previous trend line as new resistance and then get a rejection. So we could see dominance up towards 61.5, maybe as high as 62. And then we see rejection, lower highs, lower lows, continuation of MACD cross down on the monthly for Bitcoin dominance. And this would likely put us in an alt season of some kind. I'm not going to promise you guys that it's going to be the same as 2017 or 2021, but it looks like we are in the season to be expecting something like that to happen. You know, looking at the total 3 altcoin index, I mean, we're ready. We're sitting at the all-time high. Things like BNB are ripping, which means that coins within the Binance ecosystem will probably start to do really well. And if Solana starts to break its all-time high, Solana coins will start to do really well. And if Ethereum starts to break its all-time high, Ethereum coins will start to do really well. And so you guys see the picture that I'm trying to paint here. Even though things are slow right now, going into the holiday season, we will probably see some fireworks. Again, maybe not as amazing as past cycles. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm just saying we're set up for it. And I can see it painted all across the board that we're going to get some kind of season that is not just a Bitcoin season. And one of my Discord Patreon members, who's also a friend of mine and also an influencer himself for crypto, and that is Matthew Highland. Here, you can follow him on Twitter. He mentioned today or yesterday, in the last cycle, most of the top gainers of the last altcoin season back in 2021, the biggest gainers, the 100x gainers, they didn't even really exist or start to move until Ethereum hit a new all-time high. It wasn't until Ethereum hit a new all-time high that things like Polygon or Avalanche, in this case, some of these coins really started to make their move. If you look at Avalanche on the bottom as an example, and Ethereum 2021 on the top, when Ethereum broke its all-time high, Avalanche was sitting at around 44 and ended up dropping around $10, right? And then that's July 2021 at Avalanche at $10. And then 4 months later, it's sitting at 145 in 4 months, from 10 to 145. And that happened after Ethereum broke the all-time high, had one pullback, and then ran again. And you can even look at Solana in the last cycle there. Solana in the last cycle, Ethereum broke its all-time high, and Solana was down all the way down at $4. It ran up to $48, then pulls back to $20. And then it was July again. 4 months later, it goes from 20 all the way to 260 in 4 months, right? And so that was all after Ethereum's all-time high. When people say we're running out of time, it's almost over, I'm thinking, well, if Ethereum breaks out soon to a new all-time high and runs into the end of the year, we have October, November, December, maybe even January, that's 4 months, maybe even until March, because Q2 is usually when markets really start to slow down. Just putting it out there, all you need is these next 4 months for everything to unfold. So keep that in mind. The party starts when Ethereum breaks the all-time high, and it hasn't happened yet. And of course, people are going to talk about usual cycle timing, what normally happens, but the issue that I have with that now is that nothing seems normal anymore. With the Fed policy shift, with inflation, interest rates, and AI emerging and all these things, it doesn't seem very normal to me. Like the cycles that we had from 2008 all the way to 2020 doesn't feel the same at all. So I can't bank on it being exactly the same. It probably won't be. This is also the first cycle of all time that we saw a over 20% dip from the S&P after the Bitcoin halving. So there was a major reset in the markets and a huge rebound, right? And it's similar to COVID for the S&P, right? When we had this drop, this quick drop and this huge rebound, it's looking really similar right now. So this rebound can be sustained going into the end of the year, maybe partially into the new year. It can sustain this move. Of course, there will always be volatility at some point, but you guys get the point. And also, like I was saying in my last video, when you are bullish going into the holiday season, you stay bullish through the holiday season. And when you're bearish going into the holiday season, you stay bearish through the holiday season. That is the usual thing that we get from seasonality. And right now, we are bullish going into the holiday season for Bitcoin, for the S&P, for Ethereum, for the total 3, for all the high cap stocks. So I think that this holiday season should bring some nice results for us for all of the factors that I just listed. So if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely smash the like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more. And if you guys want to take part in our Discord morning voice chats, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, goes on for about 2 hours, where I make a presentation live, sharing my screen, and you guys comment, ask questions. Anyone's welcome to come and talk. You can join the Discord by being a Patreon member and then connecting to Discord in the settings on the connected apps tab. Also, there is a 20% cash back opportunity on Blowfin. If you guys are trading a lot, if you're a day trader, swing trader, if you're trading a lot of altcoins or preparing to, well, Blowfin has the most altcoin listings of any exchange that I have seen, and my sign-up link has a 20% cash back for all of your trading fees. 20% of your fees back in your account in USDT every single day that you trade. You get cash back, money back in your account. This offer does not exist in many places. You have the opportunity to get this right now. So definitely click that link below and sign up today.